The feds is watching, niggas plotting to get me. Will I survive, will I die? Come on, let's picture the possibility, giving me charges. Lawyers making a grip, I told the judge I was raised wrong, and that's why I blaze shit. Was hyper as a kid, old as a teenager. On my mobile calling big shots, on the scene major. Packing hundreds in my drawers, fuck the law. All eyes on me, little life is a thug nigga until the day I die.
New York Homeland Security encourages businesses to snitch on preppers as terrorists. Purchasing MREs, flashlights, or ammunition is suspicious activity.
Psychological warfare aims at vital targets, thoughts, emotions, opinions, attitudes. It attempts to influence behavior by the planned use of propaganda, as lies and distortions used by demagogues to arouse and incite. It was first used by the Jesuits in 1622.
LA Weekly reports Los Angeles and Southern California police are expanding their use of surveillance technology, such as intelligent video analytics, digital biometric identification, and military pedigree software for analyzing and predicting crime. Information on the identity and movements of millions of Southern California residents is being collected and tracked, whether they've committed a crime or not.
Remember back just 5 years ago, the NSA doesn't spy on Americans. That's a conspiracy theory. Now they're like, we spy on everything you do, and it's totally illegal, and you sit down and shut up, because we're putting you all on list. We're buying billions of rounds of ammo, thousands of armored vehicles, and training to take on gun owners. It's called treason. Louisiana creates a database of citizens who represent a risk to the state. Texas tried to pass a database like this about 4 years ago that, quote, if you've been critical of the government, you'd be in a database when you were pulled over. So there you go. And it admits they track everyone and watch everyone, basically with NSA software.
Meanwhile, federal programs were introduced, increasing training and cooperation between the military and domestic law enforcement. The Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, began awarding grants to enhance special operations and tactical resources to local, state, and federal agencies.
Every single car that I'm seeing on the road is either black, white, or gray. This is excellent film I'm catching, guys. Ah, now they're shifting it to red because I mentioned something. Hilarious.
Other Reagan-era policies encouraged the transfer of surplus military hardware to law enforcement, which in the 1990s became firmly established by the Clinton administration's 1033 program, incorporating millions of pieces of equipment designed for war zones into domestic policing agencies.
They don't care what happens. They don't care if your kids are killed. They don't care if you're killed. They don't care if you've been harassed so much you lash out.
Check this out, guys. Get some plates. As you have it, guys, Secret Service carrying out street theater in the streets of America, guys. Psychological warfare on American citizens, guys. Domestic terrorism being orchestrated by your own secret services, y'all. Be advised, anybody can be targeted. All you gotta do is say something that they find alarming. Next thing you know, you find yourself on this terrorist watch list, guys. This man dressed in black, see that?
They seem to show proof of a criminal conspiracy between left-wing political action groups and treasonous elements within the United States government to stage false flags, incite, fund, and participate in violence and destruction with the express purpose of agitation, escalation of civil unrest, and provocation of conflict in order to bring about martial law and totalitarian control.
According to this bill, come 1999, all employers will be required to receive authorization from the federal government before hiring any new employee. The social planners are forcing you to get their permission before you can hire anybody. And your name has to be on their database to even get a job. Do you want your name on their database? They'll tell you from here to doomsday. They're defending your liberties. They're lying!
Vehicle taking off right there. Perp.
We have partnerships with dealerships here in town, like Automax, that allow us to borrow cars of virtually any kind that we want off the lot.
I want you to notice all the white cars here.
And we go out and the citizens have no idea that those are police officers driving right next to them, or even at nighttime, a car parked down the street might very well be a couple of our cops officers on a little sting operation.
Oh, look. You know, they sensitized me to so much already. Those little perps right there, you see them talking. You know. So, again, I want you to notice the vehicles on the road are either going to be red, black, gray, silver. Notice that. See that? Now that's a PD right here that met me at the corner. And I got a police on my tail right here. So we're gonna let him pass us up so I can get his plates. The time is 6:51. The date is 4/29/2018. You got the dog walker. Wow, these people are nuts, man. But you know what? All of this is gonna end for these people pretty soon. That's why they're doing this. Again, red, white, black, or silver. Early Sunday morning, guys. Gray, black, and red. Gray, black, silver. See this? It's crazy, man.
A lot of people have no idea how deep this gang stalking goes. It goes as deep as our own system. See, Department of Defense has something, a terminology called joint targeting. And joint targeting is done through NGOs like Citizens Corps. Now I'm making this video because I want people to understand the depths of community mobbing and gang stalking, which is perpetrated through our system. It's done to cause harm to an individual through a method of not touching them physically. It's a no-touch torture method, which is used by people that have experience in Psyops, psychological warfare. It's being taught to Citizens Corps, neighborhood watch groups, even kids and people in universities and colleges in an effort to cause a person to deliberately lash out. So these people have been trained in human psychology and human behavior to know methods which will cause a human being to lash out in anger. NGOs, corporations are being used to conduct surveillance and security on behalf of the system. So that way it will not be linked to the system. They are being ran by pretty much DHS, but they're categorized as a non-GO. And when we look at all the directors, we find out that the huge majority of them are all secret society members, Freemasons. Now we know that the Department of Homeland Security has a long history of human rights abuses.
So what is community policing? So some elements of it are really the community is the head of it. The police really rely on the citizens for their authority and really using the community as its eyes and ears and information and collaboration of solving problems. The community has a large say of what they want seen, taken care of, what issues are coming up so that the police can solve those problems and work with the community to get those problems solved.
I'm Officer Jay King with the Shawnee Police Department. I'm a member of the Cops Grant team. It's been recently started here at the Shawnee PD. It's a job that really gives me a chance to be proactive. It takes me away from being a reactive patrolman where I have to just respond to calls, and allows me the ability to go out and be proactive against crime. I would say my top priority is meeting the citizens' needs and whatever they view as important. The number one person to know what's happening in a neighborhood is the people that live there. The citizens that live in these houses, they know what's going on at their neighbor's house across the street. They know what's happening in these back alleys in a way that we can never find out on our own. And so the importance of them relaying that to us is invaluable because it gives us the tools to go out and take action against the problems that they're having, that if they remain silent, we may never even know that those problems exist.
Believe it or not, guys, this guy's a perp right here. License plate 7X85919. That's how I know he's a perp. Oh, and he has a powerful engine. Let's see him play out his little theater real quick. Catch him on film. These people think they're slick, yo. But they ain't shit. You wait and see. That's why they gotta be rolling in the game, because they ain't shit.
Oh, and another thing, Freemasons, Mr. Untouchable, that is protected by the Claw, the CIA, and the Queen of England. They're all pedophiles, psycho, serial killer, murderers. You go after innocent people that know the truth.
When an individual member of a fraternity, church, club, or any other sanctioned private group that has bound themselves together by a very strong and irrevocable tie sets forth to degrade, defame, and to ultimately destroy the good name of its unity is of and itself a treasonous act, and as such must be dealt with swiftly and harshly.
Those three officers went out and started being more proactive in partnering with citizens, businesses, other governmental entities within our community. Let's say a particular neighborhood has a problem with larcenies. People are stealing things off of their front porch or in their backyard, and it's been going on for quite some time. They can get together with these officers, and these officers can set up a little sting operation where they can adjust their schedule however they want, as long as they fulfill their 40 hours a week, and they can go into a particular neighborhood. We have partnerships with dealerships here in town, like Automax, that allow us to borrow cars of virtually any kind that we want off the lot. And we go out, and the citizens have no idea that those are police officers driving right next to them, or even at nighttime, a car parked down the street might very well be a couple of our cops.
The reason why I'm pulling you over is your tags are coming back to nothing. There's no mark on it.
They ought to, but they're county tags, just like city tags.
No, sir, they're not. There's no registration information whatsoever on it. Ours.
Okay.
Okay.
I understand that.
Okay.
Did I violate the law?
Yes, sir, you did.
They're legal. The tags are legal.
Well,
do your
sir,
narcotics tags come back to something?
Sir, I don't know that. I don't know it until I pull you over. Okay? Am I supposed to know that, sir? Am I supposed to know that until I pull you over? Oh, no, sir, I'm not.
You
I'm
want
just...
to write me a ticket, you write me a ticket.
Sir,
if not, I'm going to leave and go to Walmart. Yeah.
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay, I have to verify a few things, okay? I just need you to calm down.
What do you need to verify? I'm not excited. You're the one that's excited.
I'm not excited
you know
at all.
who in the hell I am, and you pull me over.
No, sir, not before.
Pad.
No, sir, not at all.
Okay.
I don't know
Is
that
that
because
right?
no, sir, it's not at all. Let me explain a few things to you, okay? I don't know who you are at all. You got tinted windows here. You have tags that don't come back to anything.
We have partnerships with dealerships here in town, like Automax, that allow us to borrow cars of virtually any kind that we want off the lot.
So, as a patrolman,
You know who I am now?
I do. You've identified
Okay.
yourself, and I need your
All right.
license, okay? You have your driver's license with you? Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Do you have your registration information?
No, I don't have it. It's in the office.
What about the insurance?
No, sir.
So you don't have proof of
It's a
insurance?
county insurance.
Okay.
All of my fleet is insured under one policy.
Okay. You don't have that proof with you today?
No, I don't.
Okay, sir.
Sit here around.
Sit tight for me real fast. I'll be right back with you, okay?
We have partnerships with dealerships here in town, like Automax, that allow us to borrow cars of virtually any kind that we want off the lot.
Now at 6, a man accuses a police lieutenant of stalking him by circling his neighborhood and parking in front of his home out of his jurisdiction while on duty.
I was threatened. I mean, and even my family, my neighbors, everybody now is like looking out their window just trying to see if they see this cops driving by again.
He believes it's a scare tactic in retaliation for taking that police department to federal court.
We have partnerships with dealerships here in town, like Automax, that allow us to borrow cars of virtually any kind that we want off the lot.
A dashboard camera recorded an unmarked Sweetwater police SUV cruising through a neighborhood and stopping in front of a home, even motioning the driver behind him to pass him as he sits outside the house. That sounds like a normal day on the job for a Sweetwater officer, but this isn't Sweetwater. It's Miami-Dade County, and this house belongs to George Del Rio, who is suing the city of Sweetwater in federal court. This dashcam video was shot one day before a major court hearing in the case.
I haven't been able to sleep ever since this situation.
Attorney Rick Diaz says the lieutenant was sending a message.
Well, I call it harassment, I call it intimidation, I call it stalking. There's no reason for this officer to be outside of his jurisdiction.
The city confirms Marcos Villanueva, seen here being sworn in as lieutenant, was driving the SUV that Del Rio recorded, and Lieutenant Villanueva was on duty at the time. Del Rio says he called Miami-Dade police to check out the SUV, but that someone canceled the call without explanation.
I thought that after I filed the lawsuit that I was kind of like protected from them doing anything to me.
Del Rio, who works as a private investigator, says he filed the lawsuit against the city and several police employees back in 2012 when he says police arrested him without cause and held him with no charges for hours.
For 1 month and 2 days, he's received a paycheck, but some could say Sergeant Darren Baumberger has not earned it. The 15-year veteran and training supervisor at the Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Office remains on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of an administrative investigation. As we first reported, the investigation was prompted by a woman's complaint, which sources describe as an intimidation or stalking complaint. Sources say the woman who filed the complaint also filed for a protective order in late April.
We're here today at the Dallas Police Department in Dallas, Texas, to view their fusion center. These are interesting high-tech hubs of information where data is analyzed and then sent out to you, the officer on the street. Providing officers on the street with accurate and timely information are what fusion centers are all about.
Our main objective or purpose, mission at the Dallas Police Department Fusion Center is to serve as a nerve center for the department, if you will, to keep a situational awareness of what's going on in the city at all times, having information and intelligence flow into one place where it's analyzed, vetted, things that are actionable and can be of use to someone. We package that up and get it out to the ones that need it in a near real-time basis. We've always worked well with surrounding agencies, but it's always been by phone call. And now the ability to inform them all of one thing that we know that we think they need to know with the click of a button is a time saver.
Using facial recognition software tied to millions of webcams placed on streets and buildings around the world, a global hunt begins.
Flight 2, Tokyo.
In each city, Government-run web cameras scan the streets, looking for a match.
Toronto.
They get a tip that O'Connor just entered the United States through New York.
Look at the buildings. Yeah, of course.
Every building in the city appears in 3 dimensions, allowing a bird's eye view.
Let's check out the banks. Lair? Banks.
They ask the computer to show the location of every bank in New York.
I think we need to focus on one area. Head of Broadway. Let's check out this stream video.
They scour Times Square, but there's no sign of O'Connor. They head to the financial district.
I'm gonna take this area.
Okay, it's actually quite a big area here.
A lot of activity in this area. So it'd be good to check if there's any webcam around this area.
Thousands of webcams scan for a glimpse of O'Connor. And then, pay dirt.
Yeah, word. They've entered this bank here.
A sensor goes off. A camera spots O'Connor in the hallway of a bank building. He walked this hallway only seconds before. They have found his face amid a sea of millions of other faces.
The report says that he's around this area.
From the command room, they dispatch patrol units to the scene.
The Department of Homeland Security has played an integral role in the development and implementation of fusion centers all around the country. Due to the large amount of personal information processed by fusion centers, it is easy to understand how many Americans might feel apprehensive about the idea of an all-knowing government database.
So, Homeland Security likes to pass out these grants, and, you know, it's in combination or conjunction with other federal bureaucracy agendas, that being NSA, you know, CIA, FBI, blah, 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 DEA, etc. But primarily, the DHS, Homeland Security, comes to your municipality, county, or city, or whatever, and, you know, they say, hey, we're going to come with some money. We got some money. We're going to give you these grants. Everything's nice. And we just want you to, you know, just keep an eye on the neighborhood, right? Because we got the war on terror going, you know, we want to keep everyone nice and safe. And so it sounds great on paper, right? But what it ends up doing is, you know, they're saying, oh, we just want you, Mr. Firefighter, to work with the police to keep an eye on these persons of interest, because they might have an investigation going, but, you know, by due process, the police are restricted. They're not allowed to do this, because, you know, that would be paperwork, but you can do that. And so then what you end up with is cops looking at you weird, and then your firefighters are following you around on and off duty, and then there's these goon squads of local civilians that are recruited by some off-records auxiliary patrol group, Citizens on Patrol, or Neighborhood Watch, that are working with the cops. And they're like, yeah, we're sure that this guy's a criminal, we just don't know what yet. Maybe he's messing around with his pets, or maybe he's, you know, maybe he sneaks around at night and steals people's lawn chairs, who knows. And so then, yeah, that's why you got firefighters messing with you. Code 3 violations, stalking, showing up at weird times, and just, you know, all sorts of passive-aggressive stuff like that.
Ma'am, excuse me. I'm a recovery agent.
He tells him he's a recovery agent, a fancy term for bounty hunter, and he needs help capturing the woman inside.
Let me show you a picture. Hold on. Trying to ID somebody inside there with a blue jacket. Do you see the woman I'm talking about?
And shoppers seem to want to help.
Yeah. Have you ever used handcuffs?
No. I'd sooner grab her and put her down.
The bounty hunter needs positive ID and asks a shopper to take the wallet from the woman inside.
If she walks away from that carriage and you see the wallet, just pick it up and walk it out to me, okay?
You're a cop, so I'm not going to get in trouble?
Let me show you. Come over here.
Okay.
All right. This is what our bounty hunter flashes, a badge we bought online.
I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.